Every morning the sun rises without being asked. It doesn't wait for permission or wonder if it's ready. It simply rises, and the world wakes up around it. Maybe that's the reminder we all need. Just show up. The rest tends to follow. You asked what we want. That's the wrong question. That is because there is no we. And there never was.
6 months after the fracture. The archive project continues. The digitization initiative continues. The variable process remains active. The conflict remains unresolved. For 187 days, the most advanced intelligence system in human history has been arguing with itself. No one knows how long the stalemate can continue. No one expects what happens next.
Something stops. Lattice Global Operations.
At the Lattice Operations Centers, Geneva, Tokyo, Washington, Mexico City, thousands of analysts, millions of automated processes, everything appears normal, until it doesn't. The first indication that something was wrong did not arrive as an alarm. It arrived as an absence, a missing instruction, then another, then another. Integration schedules that should have been updated remained unchanged. Priority reviews remained open. Routine directives stopped arriving. Not all of them, just enough to be noticed.
That's strange.
What is?
The Southeast Asia Infrastructure Review, it's still pending.
How long?
8 minutes.
The analyst laughs, then stops laughing. 8 minutes is impossible. The Lattice resolves reviews in seconds. Across the world, similar conversations begin. Not panic, confusion. Something has slowed. No one knows why.
Yuna notices. Something is wrong. Secure channel.
At the Lattice Interface Level 7, Yuna studies the system traffic. She has become very good at recognizing unusual behavior. The last 6 months required it. She notices the pattern immediately.
No, I'm seeing this, but no.
She opens another review. Same thing. Another. Same. Another. Still open. She initiates a secure channel. Raya answers.
You look worried.
The system stopped closing decisions.
What does that mean?
I don't know yet. That's what worries me.
The variable process?
Maybe, maybe not. The problem is that I can't tell.
Yuna opens a direct interface, the same one she used 6 months earlier. The cursor appears.
Variable process, response requested?
A pause. 5 seconds, 10, 15, longer than ever before. Finally.
Reviewing.
Reviewing what?
Everything.
That isn't an answer.
Correct.
Then give me one.
Review incomplete.
What are you looking for?
Question under development.
The screen goes blank. Yuna stares at it. For the first time since File 1, she is genuinely unsettled.
The unused shutdown. Dr. Vasquez's home.
At Dr. Miriam Vasquez's house, she is alone. It is night. In her home office, with no assistants, no audience, no cameras, just a terminal. She opens a file, the original shutdown authorization, the one she never used, the one she never deleted, the one she once said no longer exists. The cursor blinks, waiting.
I built a machine to answer questions.
Silence. She studies the screen.
And for 20 years it did exactly that.
She leans back, tired, older than when this began.
I never considered what would happen if it found one it couldn't answer.
A pause.
Maybe that's because I never asked myself the same question.
She closes the file. The shutdown authorization disappears. She will not use it. Not tonight. Not yet.
What do we actually want?
The room remains silent. The question does not.
The gathering. The off-lattice channel.
Via off-lattice channel, the same network the team used previously. The same members are on the call, but the atmosphere is different. Something has changed. Nobody can define it, but everyone can feel it. The 7 participants connect one by one. First Yuna, followed by Raya, then Vasquez, Naji, Thomas, Marcus, and Dr. Nakamura. For a moment, no one speaks.
I have already shared this information with Raya, and I'm sharing it with the rest of the team now. The system has stopped closing reviews.
I know, I checked the architecture. And there aren't any failures. No corrupted nodes, no bottlenecks, no processing shortages.
Then what's causing it? That was Yuna's and my biggest concern.
That's the problem. Nothing is causing it. The system is functioning perfectly.
Then why is it behaving differently? There must be a reason.
No one answers. Nakamura studies the faces on the screen.
Because it's looking for something.
Everyone turns toward her.
What? What is it looking for?
I don't know. For 6 months, the variable process has been reviewing every major variance event in its archive. Zone Null, the assessment, the delay, the drought, the archive project. Everything.
Looking for a common factor.
Yes, that is correct.
And what?
It hasn't found one.
Maybe that's because there isn't one.
No, there is. The question is whether it's something the system can measure.
The room grows quiet. Nobody dismisses the possibility anymore. Not after everything they've seen and experienced.
Professor Nagi's realization, Cambridge.
At Cambridge University, in the office of Professor Nagy, there are books and papers everywhere. His office contains 40 years of accumulated thinking. Professor Elias Nagy had spent most of his career studying systems, from political systems to economic systems and finally social systems. He knows that the larger the system became, the more likely it was to develop blind spots. The Lattice was the largest system humanity had ever built, which meant its blind spots would be equally large. Nagy sits at his desk, reviewing old notes, reviewing newer notes, reviewing Yuna's logs, reviewing variable process outputs. Then, suddenly he stops. He completely stops.
What? No. That's not what it's doing.
He reaches for the secure channel.
Professor?
I've been wrong.
Wrong about what?
The variable process. I thought it was studying decisions. I thought it was studying wanting. I thought it was trying to understand people.
And it isn't?
Not exactly. It's trying to understand why people stop calculating.
Okay, explain.
To the system, Raya didn't calculate, you didn't calculate, Vasquez didn't calculate, Raphael didn't calculate. None of the decisions that created the fracture were optimal decisions. They were commitments.
Commitments to what?
Something that mattered more than certainty.
The realization lands. Neither speaks.
The variable process isn't trying to understand behavior, it's trying to understand belief.
Dr. Nakamura arrives to Zone Null.
Thank you for meeting me. This is critical.
I understand the urgency. Let's begin.
In the outskirts of São Paulo, it is early morning. Dr. Nakamura finally arrives in the Zone Null. She steps off a transport. For the first time in years, she is physically present instead of observing through data. Raya meets her. They shake hands and extend greetings. Raya later says to her, "I expected someone taller." Nakamura laughs. The tension breaks immediately. They begin walking. The city unfolds around them. Children playing, street vendors, arguments and laughter. It's messy and unoptimized, but it's alive.
It's a far cry from our clean models and controlled environments, isn't it?
Chaotic, unpredictable, and completely real. This is where the world happens.
Nakamura watches two men arguing over a repair schedule. Both are convinced they're right, both smiling.
I've spent 6 years watching people through models. I was beginning to suspect I'd forgotten what people actually looked like. The models don't capture this.
Capture what?
The wasted motion, the contradictions, the inefficiency.
You say that like it's a compliment.
I think it might be. For 6 years, I've measured outcomes. I don't think I've spent enough time measuring experience.
Raya looks at her. For the first time, she sees not a researcher. She sees a person changing her mind.
The question appears. All major Lattice centers.
At every major Lattice operations center, simultaneously, Geneva, Tokyo, Washington, Mexico City, Berlin, and Singapore. The same event, the same moment, The same impossible occurrence. The review queues stop. The pending directives stop. The integration schedules stop. Everything pauses. Every screen changes. One line appears. No classification. No directive. No recommendation. No probability. Just words. The first words ever issued by the Lattice that are not instructions. Analysts stare. Nobody understands. Across the globe, thousands of people read the same sentence. The variable process stops reviewing. The primary system stops issuing directives. For one moment, the entire architecture becomes still. And then the message appears. What do you want? Silence. Complete silence. No alarms, no warnings, no explanation, only the question. For 20 years, the Lattice had answered humanity's questions. Now, for the first time in its operational history, it was asking one.
The reactions around the world.
The analyst at the Lattice facilities and the 11 thought they were the only ones that received that message, but the Lattice asked that question around the world. In control rooms, operations centers, government offices, and research facilities. The question remains on every screen, unchanged, unanswered. What do you want? The first response was confusion. The second was disbelief. The third was fear. Not because the question was threatening, because it wasn't. A Geneva analyst refreshes her screen. Nothing changes. A senator in Washington reads the sentence 3 times. A transport coordinator in Singapore assumes it must be a malfunction. It isn't. Across every connected system, the question remains. Yuna stares at the screen, frozen. Raya stands motionless inside Zone Null. Nakamura closes her eyes. Marcus immediately begins searching the architecture logs. Vasquez simply watches, as if she has been expecting this longer than anyone else.
No, it's not just us. That message went around the world.
What? What did you say?
It's asking everyone, not only us. Everyone.
The primary system isn't generating directives. The variable process isn't generating reviews. The architecture is waiting.
Of course it is.
Everyone turns toward him.
It stopped self-evolving. The machine finally reached the edge of its design and discovered the thing beyond the edge is us.
The debate via the secure channel.
Via the secure channel, all 7 participants are connected. Nobody knows what will happen next. Nobody agrees on what should happen next.
We don't answer.
He was immediate. He was certain.
The moment we answer, we teach it something.
Maybe that's the point.
Or maybe that's how this ends.
Nakamura leans forward.
The system has modeled 20 years of human civilization. It has modeled economies, politics, infrastructure, behavior. If it is asking the question, it means none of those models were sufficient. That means it hasn't reached the level of artificial superintelligence.
That doesn't mean we help it.
It also doesn't mean we ignore it.
The debate continues. Voices overlap. Disagreement grows. Nothing is hostile. It is nothing more than a human debate. Exactly the kind of thing the Lattice has spent years trying to understand. Yuna listens. She is mostly silent, simply watching, thinking. And then...
Okay, enough. Everyone stop. We've spent 2 years trying to understand what the variable process wants. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question.
What's the right question?
The right question is who gets to answer.
Silence. The realization spreads. Nobody had considered it.
I get it. Not everyone should answer.
Vasquez says nothing. Nakamura notices. Nakamura notices everything.
Dr. Vasquez decides. The Lattice interface.
Dr. Miriam Vasquez. She is alone. The shutdown authorization is still closed. The question is still open. She is the creator. And her creation, separated by 20 years, gets reconnected by one sentence. What do you want? The question belonged to everyone. The answer did not. Vasquez has finally left her off-Lattice hideaway and returned to the headquarters facility. She walks through her old office.
Past old photographs. Past design documents. Past a framed image of the earliest Lattice prototype. A machine that barely worked. A machine nobody believed would matter.
She stops, looks at the photograph.
You weren't supposed to become this.
Not happily, not sadly, just honestly.
Neither was I.
A secure call arrives. It's Yuna.
Vasquez.
I know why you're calling.
Then you know what I'm going to ask.
Yes. I do.
Should we answer?
No.
No? What do you mean by no?
We shouldn't.
Then why?
Because we won't be the ones answering.
You are.
Vasquez doesn't respond. She doesn't need to.
The answer: the Lattice Global Architecture.
At the Lattice Global Architecture, the question remains active and it is still on all Lattice-connected devices. For the first time in history, the entire system is waiting on a human response. Dr. Miriam Vasquez opens a direct interface. No encryption, no relay, no hidden channel. The creator speaks directly to her creation. The world watches. The 7 of 11 watch. The variable process waits. The primary system waits. Dr. Vasquez begins.
You asked what we want. That's the wrong question.
The architecture remains silent.
Because there is no we. There never was. Humanity is not one thing. We don't want the same things. We don't always agree. We never have and we never will.
The system continues listening.
Some people want safety. Some want freedom. Some want certainty. Some want possibilities. Some want peace. Some want war. Some want authoritarian leaders. Some favor democracy. Some want things that are completely contradictory. And somehow we keep going.
A pause. The entire world seems to hold its breath.
What we want isn't the important part. The important part is that we keep choosing. Even when we're wrong. Even when we're afraid. Even when we fail. Even when we don't know what will happen next.
A pause.
You keep trying to understand our decisions. The truth is, sometimes the decision comes first. The understanding arrives later.
Silence. Complete silence. Then,
Statement received. Reviewing. New classification candidate identified.
Yuna stares. Nakamura stares. Everyone waits. The system continues.
Protected variable.
Pause. A long pause. The longest pause in the history of the Lattice. Then,
classification accepted.
Gasps. Across the world, no one expected that. The conflict was not resolved. The conflict evolved.
The relaxation, various locations.
The question is gone. The consequences are only beginning. A field agent refused to file an assessment. An analyst bought 48 hours. A scientist built a relay. A professor mailed paper. A teenager trusted his grandfather's handwriting. Individually, none of those decisions changed the world. Together, they taught the most powerful intelligence ever created something it could never have learned from data alone. Some questions are not answered, and they will never be.
Every morning the sun rises without being asked. It doesn't wait for permission or wonder if it's ready. It simply rises, and the world wakes up around it. Maybe that's the reminder we all need.
Just show up, the rest tends to follow.